Come on, let's be honest. We all like a good listicle. The top 10 movies of whatever decade or the top 10 tourist destinations of next season. We know they're usually arbitrary and random, and yet they can be fun and sometimes inspiring. And although the internet is full of people belittling listicles, we're all drawn to them like bugs to a light. So despite the chilly temperatures while recording this video, let me give you a warm welcome and just say it's okay to have a guilty pleasure. And this one is for all you folks out there who love cycling like I do. The top 30 bike-friendly cities of the world 2025. Of all listicles, this one might be one of the rare ones with actual value, giving us insight rather than just entertainment or the thrill of seeing your hometown pop up, provided we take a closer look. The thing is that cycling isn't just a hobby, it's a means of transport that shapes the face and feel of the urbanities we live in. Bike-friendly cities tend to be more relaxed, sociable, and inviting. Ranking well indicates quality of life, sustainability, and a city adapting to modern challenges. And the good old bicycle has proven time and time again that it can be part of the solution, not only on a societal scale, but also on a personal level. After all, the bike is often the quickest way around town. We're probably most interested in seeing which cities come out top. And if you're itching to see them, we've installed timestamps so you can skip straight through. But personally, I'm just as interested in how these results were attained. So if you share that interest, stick around and let's look behind the scenes at how these cities were rated. Because some of what we'll uncover might actually surprise you once you see who ends up in the top spots. The publisher of this list is an organization called Copenhagenize. If it doesn't ring a bell, no worries. But it is a credible organization founded by cycling guru Mikael Colville Andersen, specializing in engineering solutions for everyday urban cycling. Originating in Copenhagen, hence its name, it has become respected among advocates worldwide. They've even published a book full of inspirational ideas for traffic planners and cycling advocates, which is a good read too. The index they publish is meant to promote cycling and draw attention to good ideas, very much in line with our channel's mission. However, I do have several issues with how the report was set up and communicated. But before I start with my complaints, let's focus on its merits first. And this year's edition actually comes with a noticeable methodological upgrade. A new 13-indicator framework, more transparent scoring, and a partnership with EIT Urban Mobility. So yes, they are raising the bar. And some of the results look very different once seen through this improved methodology. Their team sifts through all urban areas with over 250,000 inhabitants, including smaller capitals with strong cycling communities. They narrowed this down to 100 cities with relevant data, sufficient infrastructure, and a balanced spread between regions. And that regional spread becomes important later when we ask why certain parts of the world barely appear in the top 30. To be fair, Copenhagenized go to considerable lengths to verifying data, cross-checking city submissions with open data, policy documents, media reports, and their own research. And the list goes on. So whilst it's an expert-driven index, it isn't done lightly. Although you may be surprised how differently this plays out in cities like Paris or Amsterdam, which we'll talk about shortly. They emphasize that the index is not a beauty contest, but a learning tool, a way for cities to identify strengths and weaknesses. And I genuinely appreciate that. The detailed assessment behind the scenes are far more important than the top 30 list that grabs the headlines. And once you've seen the list, you'll understand what I mean. They also stress that regional context matters. A city in Africa or Asia can't be compared one-to-one with Copenhagen or Utrecht. And this is worth remembering. And one nice detail, several new cities entered the index this year. So at least they're not recycling the same list, and it's hopefully a sign of progress. And yet, you might not agree with the outcome. I certainly don't. Paris in the top 5? Not too sure about that. And once we break down why later, you may start questioning it too. I'm no expert, just Slow Eddie Spaghetti, a regular cyclist who enjoys touring and has advocated for cycling for decades, so I would say I can make a fair judgment. And I do think this survey has its flaws and sometimes fails to reflect the lived experience of cycling in certain cities. Copenhagenize claimed the index puts the user at the center and reflects real-world conditions shaping the cycling experience. And to be fair, the indicators they use do affect daily cycling life. Lane protection, network density, model share, policy support, and yes, the methodology has improved. Credit where credit is due. But the user experience may be quite different to what the experts assess. Paris is a good example. On paper, model share is rising and infrastructure looks impressive. But on the ground, it can be a dangerous mess. Lanes are unclear, inconsistent, and often awkward to access. It photographs well, but doesn't always ride well. Then take Amsterdam. Statistically, it's almost perfect. But for first-timers and bike tourists, which is who our channel is for, Amsterdam can be overwhelming. The pace, the density, the assertiveness, it can feel intimidating if you're not used to it. Personally, I didn't find it too bad, but many people do. And none of that shows up in the data. Two cities, two very different stories, but both highlight the same mismatch. Statistics don't always match user experience. Paris looks better than it feels. Amsterdam feels more intense than it looks. And keep this in mind when we get to the countdown, because several cities higher up raise similar questions. This discrepancy became especially clear when we reviewed our video on the top 10 bike-friendly cities in France. If you've seen it, you may have wondered why Paris wasn't a leader nationally, but appears so high globally. That just doesn't add up. So how can the difference in surveys be explained? The French survey was based entirely on user feedback, everyday cyclists describing their lived experience. In my view, this gives a far more credible picture of how a city treats its cycling community. Another strength was inclusiveness. Any municipality could take part, as long as there was enough responses. No city was excluded because analysts deemed them irrelevant. And people could mark danger spots and improvements directly on a map, an incredibly useful feature for planners. These very different approaches led to very different results. The question is, which outcome is more aligned with the reality cyclists experience on a day-to-day basis? This is important because it's decisive of whether the listicle gets taken seriously and can draw attention to the research that's involved to compile it. The detailed assessments are far more important than the final ranking. They push cities to improve, diagnose weaknesses, and compare their progress year by year. This is the useful information that can help cities transform. The listicle format puts a spotlight on success stories, which is good, but it's the technicalities that matter. But who cares about boring technicalities? Debating the outcome of the listicle is fun, but it distracts from the fundamentals. Asking cyclists is more straightforward and relatable, as it's based on experience and not on abstract data. On the other hand, the data collected from Copenhagenize allows for some interesting and revealing comparisons, like the fact that out of the top 100 cities, 91 of them have adopted a cycling master plan, but only 72 have actual guidebooks. Or that 93 of them have active advocacy groups, but only 66 are actually involved in policy making. And the listicle gets people talking. So let's not hold you in suspense anymore. Vera, our editor-in-chief, is ready to present us with the countdown. And please tell us where you disagree. Which cities are missing? Which are overrated? Give us a shout in the comments.
Hi, I'm Vera and thanks for tuning in. Before I reveal the results, let me point out that I'll focus on the top 30 as published on the Copenhagenize website. If you want more detailed information and are interested in seeing the complete results of the top 100 and checking if your city appears there, you can download the full report as a PDF file from there. We've included the link in the description below. You'll be able to find out how the British, American, Asian, African and Australian cities fared in comparison, which are completely absent from the top 30. And it left me wondering why only mainland European cities make up the top ranks, with the exception of 3 Canadian cities. I leave it up to you to draw your own conclusions about the reasoning behind that. So once you've seen who occupies the top spots, the pattern might become clearer. Anyway, 2 of those Canadian cities mark the beginning of the countdown to the top. So let's get started. At position 30, we find the Canadian city of Vancouver. Coming in at rank 29 is another Canadian city, Quebec. Taking the 28th spot, the Polish city of Wrocław. On rank 27, we head to Spain with Vitoria-Gasteiz. Placed at number 26, the Swedish capital Stockholm. At position 25, the Italian city of Bologna. Just 1 spot higher, at rank 24, the Slovenian capital Ljubljana. Number 23 on the list is the Dutch city of Rotterdam. Holding the 22nd position, Switzerland's largest city, Zurich. At rank 21, the Austrian city of Graz. Breaking into the top 20. At number 20, the Swiss capital, Bern. Right after that, at rank 19, Austria's capital, Vienna. At position 18, the Norwegian capital, Oslo. Number 17 goes to the Bavarian capital, Munich. Just missing the top 15, at rank 16, the Swedish city of Malmö. At position 15, we're back in Canada, with Montreal. Rank 14 is taken by the French city of Lyon. At number 13, another French city, Strasbourg. Coming in at rank 12, the Dutch royal city, The Hague. At position 11, the German city of Bonn. And now things get exciting. Welcome to the top 10. Starting the top 10 at rank 10, the French city of Nantes. Just above that, at number 9, Bordeaux, also from France. Rank 8 goes to the Belgian city of Antwerpen. At position 7, the German city of Münster. Coming in at rank 6, the Finnish capital, Helsinki. Breaking into the top 5. At number 5, the French capital, Paris. just missing the podium at rank 4, the Dutch capital, Amsterdam. And now, the top 3. The bronze medal goes to the Belgian city of Ghent. Taking silver, the Danish capital, Copenhagen. And the gold medal winner is the Dutch city of Utrecht.
So, what's your take? Like I said, I'm not entirely convinced. I'd argue that the user-based approach is more reflective of reality than the data-based one as shown here. And my personal experience in some of the listed cities is more in line with my fellow cyclists. But I wonder if you agree. I basically have 3 quibbles. Let me break them down for you. Number 1, the list is compromised. Too many cities are omitted simply because data isn't available. Number 2, cities don't compare well. Comparisons are difficult due to differences in legislation, topography, and mobility culture. And number 3, the list excludes cyclists' first-hand experiences and doesn't seem to reflect them. This is why, in my humble opinion, user-based surveys prevail. Any city can participate, regardless of size. The results are comparable because users have universal needs and preferences, and asking users is inclusive, gives us a chance to voice our opinion and feel part of the survey, not just random data. In conclusion, this would make the survey more relatable and ultimately more credible. However, user-based surveys are conducted on a national level. An international survey would require resources and coordination on a completely different scale. The index suggests Copenhagenize would have the necessary expertise and network, which leaves me wondering whether combining both approaches wouldn't provide a more compelling and insightful global comparison, a richer, more accurate picture of what cycling actually feels like. Please give the video a like if it gave you food for thought, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy traveling by bike like we do. We look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks for watching and keep on cycling.